Tonight, before you go to bed, try something strange. Turn off every light in your house. No phone, no TV, no streetlight through the window, just darkness. Within minutes, you'll realize something shocking. For almost all of human history, this wasn't an experiment. It was everyday life. When the sun disappeared, so did the world. No glowing screens, no lamps, no cities shining across the horizon. Just darkness so complete that you could barely see your own hands. Yet every human who ever lived before modern civilization spent nearly half their lives inside the darkness. So what happened during those endless nights? The answer reveals a forgotten side of being human. Everything began with fire. Long before electricity, before cities, before written language, there was fire. Archaeologists have found evidence that our ancestors controlled fire hundreds of thousands of years ago. At first, it provided warmth and protection. But fire did something much more important. It extended the day. Before fire, sunset was essentially the end of activity. Like other animals, humans became vulnerable once darkness arrived. Predators owned the night. A leopard could see what a human couldn't. A hyena could hear what a human missed. The darkness belonged to them. Then fire changed the rules. A small campfire created an island of safety in a sea of danger. For the first time in history, humans could remain awake after sunset. And those extra hours transformed our species. Something fascinating happened around those fires. During the day, life was practical. People hunted, gathered food, solved problems, and discussed survival. But at night, conversation changed. Stories appeared. Myths, legends, dreams, ideas. Around the fire, humans stopped talking about what was and started talking about what could be. Some anthropologists believe this was where culture truly began. The campfire became humanity's first theater, its first classroom, its first place of imagination. In the flickering light of flames, people shared stories that outlived generations, but storytelling wasn't the only thing that made ancient nights different. There was another forgotten habit, one that sounds strange to modern ears. For thousands of years, humans didn't sleep the way you do today. They slept twice. Historical records from Europe, the Middle East, and other parts of the world repeatedly describe something called first sleep and second sleep. People would go to bed shortly after dark, sleep for several hours, wake up naturally in the middle of the night, remain awake for a while, then return to sleep until sunrise. This wasn't considered unusual. It was normal. During that quiet period between sleeps, people prayed, reflected, talked softly with family members, remembered dreams, or simply sat alone with their thoughts. The night wasn't an interruption. It was part of the rhythm, a space between two worlds, neither fully asleep nor fully awake, a state that most modern humans never experience. Then everything changed. Light arrived. First candles became cheaper, then gas lamps illuminated city streets, and eventually electric bulbs turned night into an extension of day. For the first time, humans could ignore sunset completely. Work continued, entertainment continued, the darkness retreated, and with it, many of the ancient patterns that had guided humanity for thousands of generations. Today, artificial light follows us everywhere. Our homes glow, our cities glow, our phones glow. Even at midnight, our brains receive signals that resemble daylight. The result is that many of us live in a world our ancestors would barely recognize. A world where darkness has become rare, and maybe that's why modern life often feels so loud. For most of human history, night forced people to slow down. There were no notifications, no endless feeds, no constant stimulation, just silence, stars overhead, a fire nearby, and time to think. Perhaps the greatest thing we lost wasn't darkness itself. It was what darkness gave us: reflection, stillness, imagination. For hundreds of thousands of years, every human being who came before you spent their nights beneath a sky crowded with stars. And somewhere between sleep and waking, between firelight and dawn, they experienced a version of humanity that modern life has almost forgotten. The next time you switch on a light after sunset, remember, for nearly all of human history, that switch didn't exist, and neither did the world it created.